India celebrated its 78th Army Day this week. The day marks a historic moment from 1949 when Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa became the first Indian Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army, taking over from British leadership. Hello and welcome to Inside South Asia. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's begin. With less than 1 month to go, Bangladesh is preparing for its first elections since July-August 2024 uprising. With the Awami League banned, the February 12 polls are seen as a contest between Bangladesh Nationalist Party and the Jamaat-e-Islami. These two parties were recent allies but now face each other in a pivotal election. Our next report explores.
A year and a half after the 2024 uprising, Bangladesh will hold a general election on February 12th. This election will choose the 300 members of the Jatiya Sangsad or Bangladesh Parliament. 50 seats are reserved for women candidates to be decided by proportional representation. As alliances are being stitched up, the big question facing the predominantly Sunni Muslim South Asian nation is, who will emerge victorious and achieve the magic number of 151 seats in the upcoming election? After years of bans and crackdowns which relegated them to the political wilderness, Bangladesh's Islamist groups, sensing their biggest opportunity in decades, are mobilizing ahead of the elections due in less than a month, determined to gain a foothold in the government. The key driver of this formidable push is the Jamaat-e-Islami, the country's largest Islamist party. Not only have they papered over divisions with several other Islamist groups, putting forward only male candidates, they have also allied with the National Citizen Party or the NCP, formed by student leaders who spearheaded the 2024 uprising. Former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, during her 15-year reign, had taken a tough stand against Islamist movements. During her tenure, several top Islamist leaders were sentenced to death and several hanged for war crimes, accused of supporting Pakistan during Bangladesh's 1971 independence war. But once Sheikh Hasina fled the country, several key Islamist leaders were released from prison, emboldening the Islamist groups who have grown increasingly assertive in a nation that is home to the world's fourth largest Muslim population. But the Jamaat-e-Islami will face tough competition from its once ally, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, widely considered a frontrunner and bolstered by the return of 60-year-old Tariq Rahman, the eldest son of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, who came back to Bangladesh in late December after 17 years in exile in Britain. Zia, the first woman to serve as Bangladesh's Prime Minister, died on 30th December after a prolonged illness. Many Bangladeshis felt that her presence would have made a difference for the nation that is witnessing a political turmoil.
We are mournful today. Her presence was necessary in the current situation of the country. Her death is an irreparable loss for Bangladesh. She was a 3-time Prime Minister. Every time she contested any constituency, she was elected. She never faced any defeat. She was an uncompromising leader. Every step she took since 1981 after the death of Ziaur Rahman, she did so for Bangladesh. She was not a vassal element of any foreign country, and she was the symbol of people's trust and faith.
The return of Zia's son, Tariq Rahman, considered a leading contender for the prime ministership, has come at a time of heightened political uncertainty and escalating tensions in Bangladesh, following the assassination of prominent youth leader Sharif Usman Hadi on the 12th of December. The firebrand Hadi was a key figure in the 2024 uprising and a candidate in the upcoming elections, whose assassination triggered widespread violence, leading to severe criticism of the interim government of Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus over its failure to ensure law and order. Attacks on minority communities and leaders and activists of the ousted Awami League have not ceased and remain a huge concern as the date draws closer. Public apprehension continues to rise. Upon his return, Tariq Rahman had declared that he has a plan for the people and for the country. The big question is, will the Bangladeshi electorate give him a chance, or will it pivot towards the Islamists?
Another South Asian country that is heading for polls this year is Nepal. Scheduled for the 5th of March, this will be the first national elections since months of unrest brought down the government of former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. But far from a routine democratic exercise, these elections are unfolding amid growing uncertainty. Nepal is grappling with pressure on three fronts: on the streets, in the political arena, and in the economy. Supporters of Nepal's former royal family are once again taking to the streets. At the same time, young Nepalis are struggling to find work and stability. Even the political establishment is under strain, with internal divisions shaking the Nepali Congress. With so much going on at once, our next report brings you the full picture.
Last year's Gen Z protests. In September 2025, demonstrations erupted across the country, initially sparked by a brief government ban on social media. But the movement quickly grew, fueled by wider anger over corruption and economic hardship. Nepal estimates the unrest caused losses of around $586 million, with nearly 15,000 people losing their jobs. Even before the youth protests, another issue was gaining traction: calls for the return of the monarchy. Pro-royalist groups are once again rallying in Kathmandu. Chants of "Bring Back the King" are echoing through the streets, marking a renewed push to restore the nation's last king, Gyanendra Shah.
The last and the only alternative for this country is king and monarchy. In the present context and the path the country has taken after the Gen Z movement, the monarchy needs to be restored to manage the situation.
The monarchy was abolished in 2008, ending more than 2 centuries of royal rule and turning Nepal into a republic. On 11th of January, royalists marked the 304th birth anniversary of Prithvi Narayan Shah, the founder of unified Nepal. The deposed king broke his silence, expressing concern over the state of the country.
Nearly 2 decades since we left the palace, the crisis the country continues to face has us worried.
Currently, Nepal is being run by an interim government. It is headed by Sushila Karki, the country's first female prime minister and a former Supreme Court judge. But the interim administration is also facing criticism for delays in pursuing corruption cases. And as the elections approach, the scramble for political power is intensifying. The Nepali Congress, the country's oldest and largest party, has split for the 3rd time since its formation in 1950. An internal power struggle between party president Sher Bahadur Deuba and general secretaries Gagan Thapa and Bishwa Prakash Sharma reached a breaking point. After talks collapsed, the split was formalized. Thapa has now claimed the party presidency through a special convention.
The Nepali Congress Special Convention has elected Gagan Thapa as the party president. This new leadership was announced just hours after the establishment faction took a disciplinary action against Thapa and Bishwa Prakash Sharma. Thapa and other leaders are now preparing to approach the Election Commission with updated party papers, and they are confident that the Commission will recognize their party.
On the other hand, the rest of the political parties are rethinking how they are going to fight this contest. The Election Commission says 175 candidates from 17 political parties have withdrawn their names from the proportional representation list for the House of Representatives. The general election will choose 275 members of the House of Representatives. 165 of them would be elected through direct voting, and 110 through the proportional representation system. Nepal is still in recovery mode after months of political and social turmoil. And what is not yet clear is this: will these elections steer Nepal towards stability or deepen the uncertainty that it already faces?
On the 12th of January, the International Court of Justice in The Hague opened hearings in a landmark Rohingya genocide case against Myanmar. The Southeast nation is accused of breaching 1948 Genocide Convention during a 2017 military crackdown against the Rohingya minority, a charge it denies, saying its operations targeted insurgents. The hearings, scheduled to wrap up on January 29th, are being keenly watched by 1.17 million Rohingya refugees crammed into ramshackle camps in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar and barely clinging to a hope for a long overdue justice. Our next report shines a spotlight on the first full genocide case before the International Court of Justice in over a decade.
Justice delayed is justice denied. Nowhere is this legal maxim more true than in the case of Rohingya Muslims. Persecuted, exiled, despondent, angry, and survivors of mass rape, arson, and murder, they have one question: will we ever get justice? For 1.17 million Rohingya refugees living crammed into rundown camps spread over 8,000 acres in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, the answer to that question could take years to come. On Monday, the United Nations top court opened hearings against Myanmar in a genocide case filed by the Gambia in 2019, rekindling hope among Rohingya refugees.
We are such an ill-fated nation, beaten for centuries in their own homeland, and nobody has barely cared. I request the world to step forward in our assistance. Please be united to find justice for us, to repatriate us to our villages as soon as possible.
We need nothing but justice. Our hearts burn to return to the land of Arakan.
It is to be noted that for the first time in more than a decade, the International Court of Justice is hearing a full genocide case. In 2019, in a landmark moment at the Peace Palace courthouse in The Hague, Nobel Peace Laureate Aung San Suu Kyi has appeared herself to defend her country and had labeled the Rohingya genocide as an internal armed conflict. Over the next 3 weeks, ICJ judges will examine whether Myanmar's 2017 military campaign violated the 1948 Genocide Convention. In 2017, hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims fled violence perpetrated by the Myanmar army and allied Buddhist militias, escaping to neighboring Bangladesh, forever scarred by the harrowing accounts of gang rapes, sexual mutilation, and even infants being burned alive.
So if I talk about the event that has happened during the genocide, I have witnessed my brother killed brutally. He was shot by the Myanmar military. Our houses were burned. I have witnessed children thrown to the fire. So all the villages were destroyed by the Myanmar military during the genocide. So it's not something that I can describe in what is a horrible scenario that has happened.
At the start of the genocide hearing, Gambia's Justice Minister Dauda Jallow told the International Court of Justice that Myanmar deliberately targeted the Rohingya minority with horrific violence in a bid to destroy the community.
Real group of human beings. Esoteric issues of international law. It is about real people, real stories, and real group of human beings, the Rohingya of Myanmar. They have been targeted for destruction. They are ordinary folk. They have dreams and aspirations like all of us. And first and foremost, it is the most simple dream to be able to live in peace in their homeland under conditions of dignity and security. Myanmar has denied them that dream. In fact, it turned their lives into a nightmare, subjecting them to the most horrific violence and destruction one could imagine.
The proceedings in The Hague are being closely followed in Kutupalong, the world's largest refugee camp in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar. The United Nations Refugee Agency noted that the camp ranks among the most densely populated anywhere in the world. Here, displaced families cling on to a life of dignity in makeshift bamboo and plastic shelters. As children play behind barbed wire, women carry supplies through narrow alleys, continuing a life they have been reduced to. Expressing anguish over years of exile, these refugees demand accountability.
We want proper justice from the International Court through the case filed by Gambia for the oppression and persecution that the Myanmar government and Buddhists together carried out against us.
The predominantly Muslim-majority West African nation, the Gambia, had filed the case in 2019 to the International Court of Justice, which rules in disputes between states. Under the Genocide Convention, any country can file a case at the International Court of Justice against any other it believes is in breach of the treaty. Myanmar has maintained its crackdown by its armed forces, known as Tatmadaw, was justified to root out the Rohingya insurgents. The final decision by the International Court of Justice could take months, possibly years, and even then, the court has no means of enforcing its decisions. But Rohingya refugees and human rights advocates are hopeful that it will pave the path for accountability and eventually a return back home.
Up next, we take a look at what else is making headlines in our Inside South Asia wrap.
The Indian Space Research Organization, better known by its acronym ISRO's first satellite launch of 2026, was abruptly cut short on Monday after an anomaly was detected during the third stage of its flagship rocket, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle's flight. The mission, led by ISRO's commercial arm, New Space India Limited, aimed to deploy an Earth observation satellite along with 15 co-passenger satellites using the PSLV C-62 rocket. It is to be noted that PSLV is considered a cornerstone of India's space program and has completed 63 successful flights to date.
On the 12th of January, newly appointed U.S. Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, hailed India-U.S. ties, saying that no partner is more essential for the United States than India. Sergio Gore also signaled deeper strategic alignment by announcing that India will be invited to join Pax Silica, the U.S.-led alliance that aims to secure supply chains of key components independent of China. The next day, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar had a phone conversation with his American counterpart, Marco Rubio, discussing cooperation in trade, critical minerals, defense, and energy.
On Monday, the first day of his two-day visit to India, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz floated the possibility of the European Union and India finalizing a landmark free trade agreement as early as the end of this month. Following his meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad, Merz said that the presidents of the European Commission and the European Council would travel to India at the end of this month to seal the deal, provided negotiations wrap up by then.
On Monday, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi reaffirmed his country's commitment to supporting Sri Lanka's reconstruction efforts following Cyclone Ditwa, assuring personal intervention during a meeting with Sri Lankan Foreign Minister Vijitha Harath. Wang Yi expressed confidence that the island nation is on the path to a speedy recovery and promised full Chinese support. The discussions also covered strengthening bilateral cooperation in trade, investment, development, and tourism.
In Pakistan, where religious minorities make up a small part of the population, a rare scene of celebration and solidarity has unfolded in Karachi. More than 70 Hindu couples have come together for a mass wedding, offering hope and dignity to families who could not afford a ceremony of their own.
Colourful saris, flower garlands and wedding chants filled a marriage hall. These visuals are not from India, but its neighbour, Pakistan. 75 Hindu couples from across Pakistan tied the knot at the same time during the mass wedding in Karachi. The event was organized by the Pakistan Hindu Council, a community organization that helps poor families and orphans who would otherwise never be able to afford a wedding.
We were not able to afford a wedding because my mother was unwell and my father could not manage the expenses. That is why we came here. We liked it very much and would like to tell everyone that they should have their daughters married here.
Like Priya, many brides and grooms come from families struggling with illness, debt and unstable incomes. The cost of a traditional wedding, clothes, food, jewelry and venue is simply out of reach for them. A mass wedding ceremony allows couples to start their married lives without being burdened by crushing debt.
I got married in a way that suited our budget. Our families did not have such a wide range of financial capacity, and we ourselves had our limitations. So the marriage was arranged according to our financial situation. They could not do more, and we could not expect more. We got married in a way that we were happy with. Everything is well organized here, and many people choose to get married here.
The Hindu community in Pakistan makes about 1.6% with around 2.5 million people. The Pakistan Hindu Council carefully verifies each application, making sure that aid goes to genuine and vulnerable cases.
Parents who want to get their daughters married but do not have the financial means, as well as orphans who have no parents, are supported by the Pakistan Hindu Council. The council becomes their family and arranges their marriages. When registration begins, our coordinators in Sindh review the applications. We verify genuine cases and orphans and then finalize them.
In a country where religious minorities often struggle for visibility, this mass wedding is more than a ceremony. It marks a new beginning for many, providing support, togetherness and belonging.
As we wrap up, we leave you with the visuals of vibrant harvest festivals that were celebrated across India this week. From Makar Sankranti to Lohri to Magh Bihu to Pongal. Take a look as the country unites with the spirit of harvest.
The world's most powerful minds gather. Decisions that shape our future are made. From the Swiss Alps to you. Starting January 19th, WION will deep dive into the significance of what global leaders are deliberating at the World Economic Forum. The coverage will feature key roundtable discussions every day with top analysts at WION's headquarters. Stay tuned as we break down key themes from the Davos Forum to make it simple and engaging for you, only on WION.
is our brand new edition of South India, a daily dynamic show that will capture the pulse of the southern Indian state.
By blending special stories of the day, breaking alerts and cultural vignettes.
From the 7 days.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your